Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Context is King. I'm Rebecca Brayton, and with me as always is WatchMojo founder and CEO Ashkan Karbasfrooshan to discuss the idea of WatchMojo hosts on camera because of the following comment from Nathan Hewitt. I will read it as quickly as I can. This and the discussion about the first documentary, blah, 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 keep keeping it real. I don't agree with everything you say, blah, 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 but please no more showing us the voiceover people on WatchMojo. It feels cheap and as if the voiceover people just want to get their face on camera for no reason other than their own vanity. There is real value in your craft by staying 100% behind the camera and unseen. I'm subscribing to ContextTV tonight. Okay. So thanks.
All right, so Nathan posted that on our Chappelle cancel culture video, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to address this. Now, for the record, I was reading MTV's I Want My MTV, and I couldn't help but think of the parallel between MTV early on that built an empire around music videos that they did not own. They would use the full music video. They couldn't really argue fair use. They just argued it's promotional, and eventually they had to evolve. And in parallel to that, they had these VJs that the audience eventually gravitated to. Now, you could argue that the real world and going into reality TV was a bad idea, but MTV, were it not for them totally whiffing on YouTube and MySpace, MTV remains influential, right? So when I was reading that, I was like, it's true. Most billion-dollar media empires are built on two things: personalities and then characters and intellectual property. WatchMojo is really unique. It's an anomaly if you think about it, in that early on, the very first videos, we had hosts actually do the vlog-like talking about stuff. But then circa 2012, it was clear that YouTube did not need two things. It did not need another vlogger, and it did not need another multi-channel network, and that's when WatchMojo really kind of narrowed and kind of like evolved into doing top 10s. And at that time, I felt like it was more powerful and compelling to embrace fair use risk and just show the clips, with the star being the topic. So if you're an Ozzy Osbourne fan, the star was Ozzy Osbourne. But similar to YouTube, I said, hey, we also, the way they built their empire on music videos, we built our empire on third-party intellectual property, but we use short clips, commentary, yada, yada. But I did kind of realize that our success, and this is being very transparent, when I say empire, I'm being kind of joking about it, but I did realize that like our success, we were not the first to do top 10s. We didn't invented Moses top 10s and all that. But our success on YouTube drew a lot of competitors, which is fair. Competition is good. But so I was like, well, how do we kill two birds with one stone? How do we differentiate ourselves from all of these copycats? And they're not copycats. Some of them may have been there before us, but for lack of a better word. And how do we become from here to here? One of them was to go into our own storylines and documentaries and eventually scripted projects. But the other one was, I said, look, there's a lot of people that hear your voice and have seen you, but every time you come on camera, they're like, face reveal. And I'm like, oh, you've seen this gal. She's been, and so what I wanted to do was, it was actually my idea. I said, you know what? It may be a bit jarring, but instead of just having you guys talk about the countdowns, to both develop you guys a bit more and build that rapport with the audience, I said, it'll also differentiate us from all the others that are doing top 10s like we do, even if maybe our quality's better and there's a little bit more finesse. I just felt it would be a good way to, again, break from the crowd. So, Nathan, I think you're probably not alone. I think there's a lot of people that say, hey, just give us the clips, just give us that solo, the riff, why we signed up. But I'm going to guess, and I would love your opinion on this, I'm going to guess that there's probably just as many who like to see the faces, who like to develop this rapport and find out, who's Rebecca, not just a voice. Now, when you read that, now I sent it to you because I was like, otherwise you'd be like, hey, why are we doing this topic? What are your thoughts? Like, because for the longest time, we used to do a show like this back in the day. What was it? WatchMojo FAQ?
We had so many names.
We had so many. We've been around forever, but we've done this, and it's kind of like a ombudsman, answering questions and addressing stuff. But so we used to be on the camera. You obviously used to do a lot of hosting, cooking, and all that. When we started to go just doing the top 10s with voiceover, were you a bit pissed that, hey, I'm not on camera anymore? Did you want that to come back?
I wouldn't say I was pissed. I mean, this is going to sound super cheesy, but like I'm a team player. Whatever's best for the company, I'll do that. So that's kind of how I looked at it. I never took it personally, but
Okay, that's good. But I'm saying when I then fast forward when I said, hey, I think we should bring back faces and at least just put them in the first few frames. Were you like, you freaking idiot, we should have done this from the beginning? Or were you like, good, I get it? Like, what was that? Because it was a change from before.
I was curious to see how it would go over with the fans, because if we've learned anything in our time doing this, that people don't like change, even if it's a good change. So regardless of, whether or not it was a good choice, they might not like it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. People don't like change. The fundamental takeaway I have with YouTube is there's always this recycling, for lack of a better word, of like new fans and new followers and new subscribers. So that the same way they're like, oh, face reveal, even if you've done this many, many times. I feel like that's why the people don't like change is maybe secondary to, there's all these new people. I think when you're maybe 16, 18, you spend maybe a bit more time on YouTube and our channel than when you're 20, 21 in college. And then you might get married, have a career, have kids. And so my thought was, it's never too late. And I think just given like the landscape where you had so many others doing what we did, that I just felt it was a good way to break out and, always, my techniques may be unconventional, but over time I think they're somewhat effective. But anyway, so that was the idea. So Nathan, I think we don't really have that in every video. I think they're in some of the videos, and I think the point is to give a little bit of both. But so far, I wouldn't say that the feedback has been horrible. I'm afraid to ask, but like I'd be curious what others have to think about that. You may not want to read the comments, perhaps, neither would the others.
You just distill them for me, please.
But it would be great to see what you guys have to say. If you think that showing a few seconds of the face and the person behind the voiceover, is that a welcome change? Do you guys want more of that? Or do you think we should go back to the way it was before and just stick to the voiceover?
Oh boy. So let us know in the comments, I guess. And we'll see you next time. Or will we?